Good evening and welcome to tonight's show from DJNTV, Disc Jockey News TV. Tonight's show is brought to you by Electra Voice, DJ Event Planner, DJ Trivia, Odyssey Innovative Designs and Cases, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, and the DJNTV Insiders.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Wedding Chat with Jeremy Brech and Dave Ternier.
Dave, I don't even know how to open this thing. It's been, oh my gosh, what, since May probably? Or even before that. I think it's a
long time.
But it's good. It is good to be back. It's good to see you again. And actually, before we got on, I was talking with our friend from Australia. Can't think of his name right now. But
Serge,
gosh, we need to, Serge, that's right, Serge. I was like, we need to catch up. You know, it'd be nice to catch up again because I mean, we used to do chats with each other in this, group of 5 of us.
Yes, we did.
And I'm like, we haven't done that in forever. And so he's like, oh yeah, I look forward to seeing you and Dave tonight. And I kind of gave him the emoji face of like, what's going on with Dave and I? But I've been looking forward to this. This has been on our calendar for about 2 to 3 weeks now. And it's always great to catch up with you and to hear how things are going. But also,
and it's good to see all of you watching. Hi.
Even though we can't see you, we know you're there.
But well, we have to speak to them though, right?
That's true.
It is really great to see everybody. For all those who are tuning in, thanks for welcoming us back. I mean, we're back. You'll have to tune in to see how frequently we're back. I'm not sure what the plan is just yet, but we're back.
Yeah.
So. I know I received a message about 3 hours ago, actually, from one of our regular watchers who was like, "You guys are back!" And he was quite excited. So, Carlos, my man, if you're watching, how are you, sir? Nice to see Carlos.
You. I'm glad to know we have one watcher, one viewer.
That's right. And I do have the YouTube feed running over down here. So if you see me looking down here, anybody tonight, I'm reading your comments and going to try to interact with as we do this. So
cool. One of the things I love about this show is John basically gives us the opportunity not to wear pants. I think that's always great. He lets us kind of do our own thing and be free. And man,
it is funny the misdirection that simply wearing a shirt can create.
Exactly. Actually, you know what? I got to get something quick. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean.
Anyway.
It actually that is kind of funny that you mentioned that. It's always it's in perspective of what you portray and what people receive. So segue.
Oh,
what people see is this half of us. And think about social media. When people post on social media, you're only seeing that half of them. And to me, that's one reason I don't like social media is because it can be extremely perceiving. Like. You could be this person, but in social media, you could look like a whole different person. You could look like an angel. You could be, something completely different. And or
the opposite. You can be a complete somebody I don't want to know on social media, but in real life, you're okay.
Yeah. It was like, that is not what I expected. The unexpected is always interesting. So we do have pants on. I can speak for myself. I have pants on tonight. Tonight anyways.
And I simply drinking water.
I guess we'll find out. Is that an EV water bottle? Oh, I got another segue. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it could kind of work with that. So one of the things that we really want to tackle in this session is we want to hear from people. We want to hear, ask us, what was your best thing that you did this summer? What are some of the things that you look forward to in our show in the next couple of weeks here? Because we want to cater the content to what's interesting to you guys and girls.
Yeah.
And, we've obviously, Dave and I have been in this for a while, and we've built our businesses as a single op. For Dave, I don't know if he's over here on your screen, but he's here on my screen. Dave has built a really good business in a single op, and we've built a really good multi-op just, over the years of evolving. So that's actually one of the things that I want to talk about in a future conversation. So John, make sure you write this down if you're listening. I want to talk about how it's important to, again, not tonight. I want to tease you with some of the things that I think are important. Evolving, if you don't evolve, you're going to die. And, it's pretty much inevitable. If you're not willing to adapt, then you're not going to be in business much longer. One of the things that Dave, that you did was you took a Marbecca workshop where MCs weren't really even a thing up in Canada, and you basically rewrote what it is to be a wedding DJ in Canada. And I think that's
myself and some others, but yeah, certainly played a hand.
Sorry, I shouldn't say. I mean, you got a great group of people actually up in your market, up in the entire continent of Canada.
Incredible group of people. In fact, we could talk about what you can create in your community if you're that person that can create it. Small little tangent here. My buddy Brian Podwerney, who many of you know from my area here, he called me up, we had lunch the other day, and he had to tell me this story. He got this incredible story. He got this bride that called him, and she had a complaint. She hadn't booked him, but she had a complaint that every DJ company in our region that she called, she couldn't find one for less than $1,200. And Brian is struggling not to giggle on the phone because, of course, many know that that's a symbolic number in our industry. And, for those who don't know my region, that's 10 years ago, the average for our area was about half of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've come a long way. So, yeah, myself and many others have contributed to that. And yeah, it's been very fun reinventing ourselves up here and adapting to new ideas and not saying we know how to do it and all that jazz that goes along with that.
So yeah, I think evolving and how we've evolved. I think there's so many different ways and so many things we can talk about when it comes to evolving. Whether that's education, whether that's gear. I mean, we always try to teach people about education because to me, I think education, and I think you understand that as well. Education is one of the most important things. As a DJ, gear is evolving, which makes our job easier, better, more efficient. And some of those transitions and those ways to evolve can also make a huge difference in your business. I love the fact that you brought up evolving, which now raises your price and it raises your worth. I think that would be a great topic. I guarantee there's a lot of people that want to know not sales aspects. If you want to learn sales, go talk to Mitch Taylor. That guy is a sales genius. I love Mitch
Taylor, Alan Berg, any of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think talking price, that is one thing that we've never talked about in our show. We've never talked about pricing.
Yeah, maybe not.
I swear I don't think we have. So I think
and our viewership just dropped. No.
Like, oh great, here we go. But no, I think it would be important to talk about, because like in our company, we have different price levels based on different entertainers. So basically, how do we figure out what the value is that we're providing in that service for the entertainer, the equipment they're bringing? I mean, all of our guys are using the same equipment, but it's what they're doing with that equipment that makes them valuable, and that's how we basically create our pricing.
Another topic, maybe
that with so many couples, and always ask the question, what's your budget? And before it was always, well, we don't really have a budget, or we want to spend right around $600-800.
Yeah,
that has really changed in the last, I would say, year and a half for us.
Okay.
We've seen so many more couples that have come in with a budget, and they say, my budget is anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000, which I think is fantastic, because now they understand the value of what we do, and they understand that their investment is going to be worth the investment. And they're not looking just to get by for their wedding. They're looking to make an impact and be, you know, to provide a service that's worthy to their guests who are traveling thousands of miles, hundreds of miles to come to the reception. So,
DJ,
I think pricing would be a great thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. I want to go back to something you said, but just before I do that, I want to just quick mention here. DJ Adrian Esparza, I'm sorry, I probably butchered your name, my friend. Has just asked, what are the traits of evolving? So I have an answer to that, but I'm going to let you think on that for just a quick minute while I ask you another question.
Okay.
Which is, you mentioned asking couples what their budget is. That is nothing I've ever done. Do you do that in most consults or most inquiries?
Every time, absolutely.
Really? So I've never done that because a part of me doesn't want them to start talking about a number that I know there's no way I'll fit into. So I would just rather inspire them with some big idea and then have them make the budget after they meet with me. I don't know.
That might be different for you as a single op as opposed to us as a multi-op. You know, because if someone says, well, my budget is $7,000, then I know they want their experience to be at this level. If they say, well, our budget, you know, we're on a tight budget, we're paying for the wedding ourselves, we're at, you know, $1,100. And I mean, sometimes that's still not enough to even our starting packages. So basically we, you know, I'll flat out ask them. I said, you know what, here's our starting package price. I know it's more than what you've budgeted. I would still love to tell you the value of what or why that is and how that can make a difference for you. If you say, nope, I don't want to go above 1,100 or I don't want to go above 1,000, then you know what, I completely understand. And I'll give you names of companies that are going to fit within that budget.
Cool. Oh, very good. Very good. So going back to Adrian's question, so he says, what are the traits of evolving? Adrian, I'm going to answer first on this. I think, and I've really only understood this more in the last few years, but I think that one of the traits to evolving has become understanding that education and training and self-development are where everybody should put a large portion, if not all, of their marketing dollars.
Mm-hmm.
That has been probably the biggest bit of evolving for me, is realizing that, yeah, I can put a few $1,000s into a website, or I can put a few $1,000s into a wedding show, or I can put a few $1,000s into these ads in wedding, you know, be it on Wedding Wire or magazines, whatever. But a huge evolution for me was realizing that that same money put into a performance training workshop or something that betters me will actually create more business in the long run. And once you adopt that mindset, everything changes. What would you say are some of the traits to evolving? How would you answer that?
It's kind of an open-ended question, because if you're talking about traits, is that as a business owner? Is that as a company? Is that as a performer? I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at what that question's kind of focused on. So let's talk as a company. Our company, if it doesn't evolve, it doesn't come out with new ideas and creative thoughts, then we're not accommodating our couples, because our couples are asking for certain things. And I think you kind of said this as well, but I think listening is such an important part of evolving, because if you're not willing to listen, then you are stuck here and you're not willing to go out and go after the next thing, or allow yourself to start achieving better education, those type of things. You look at, you know, some of the trade shows. You know, we even see so many of our trade shows, like our wedding shows that happen here in our market. We see a lot of those kind of dwindling, and it's because they're not changing. They're not doing anything new. They're not doing anything different. And, you know, the world around us is changing. And so we have to adapt to that. We have to figure out, what are we going to do to fit into that new change? You know, Vibo, I don't know if you've looked into Vibo. Vibo's a big thing in the DJ conversation right now, because people can basically send you their can't even think of what it's called, their Spotify list, and you can import it and put it right into your system and your logs and all that stuff. You know, those type of things are evolving, as well as, you know, just a CRM, or, you know, like we use DJ Event Planner all the time. If we didn't have DJ Event Planner, man, I couldn't even tell you where we would be at. We would be so disorganized.
Yeah.
We have so many different people working within the company that aren't performers, but they're adding content, they're adding detail. And if we don't provide that detail to the person who's going to be executing the event, again, I mean, it's just about looking and saying, how are we going to make our business better this year?
Yeah.
And like you had mentioned, Dave, education, I think, is truly key. And if you are going to get education, get something that's going to make you more valuable than your competition. Make something that's going to make you the go-to or the valuable aspect in your market, as well as, you know, if you're a multi-op, you know, figure out what investments you need to make to bring your weakest links up to your strengths, and you know, just evolve your entire company as a whole. So
Agreed.
that's one of the things. I don't know if you saw my Glenn had mentioned this tonight. He's like, if you saw my post on our DJJR events, or it's Sioux Falls DJJR on Facebook, we posted our tacos and training last night. We did a training session with all of our guys, and so that, I mean, that's why I'm saying, the reason I bring this up is because taking the weakest links and trying to build them up, you know, say, you know, what aren't you getting? What are you getting? And then everybody can watch and collaborate off of each other. And now we start evolving as a group. And I think it was truly awesome last night. But Glenn from Australia, and this is exactly why I took the picture. We had all these guys, they were sitting there, they were watching as we were kind of discussing and going over, you know, systems and things like that. And there's the cat sitting right in the front row, just kind of like, man. just laying there like he owned the place. Like, guys, just sit around me. I don't have time to move. And he was all in the picture. So I thought that was, sorry, way side note, but
That's
it was
amazing.
pretty entertaining.
Well, and I'm just going to find that social media post of yours right now, but tacos and training, I'll bet you that made for great social media content too. They got a lot of reaction.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, the reason we like to post that stuff is just so people can see that we're not just going to show up to their event and do the same thing we've done in the past.
Yeah.
Again, we're going to evolve. We're going to say, here's some of the new things that we could be doing right now as a company. Here's some things that could make you better as an entertainer, and again, raise the value of what we do in our services. So,
Right.
Yeah, like you said, the biggest key is education. It really is.
Yeah. And by the way, for those who are wondering, you know, Jeremy is being modest. When I made a comment, I'll bet you got lots of reaction on social media. Maybe he doesn't know, but he got 27 likes and 2 comments, which is pretty great reaction for a post that I'm guessing had no dollars behind it.
Yeah, no, we just posted it.
Yeah. So, on the topic of what are the traits of evolving, Glenn, speaking of Glenn from GNM Event Group, says the best step towards evolving is being open to change, being open to improving. 100%. And I'll maybe go down that rabbit hole a little bit more. I think one of the traits that I think one really needs to adopt to evolve is being willing to walk with somebody else that's maybe on that same path of evolution, much like I did with Brian. And for those who don't know, you know, find my blog post, Who's Your Brian, I think is what it was called, over at djthought.com, and you'll find out exactly what I mean. But also being willing to walk really alone. I think that's a really valuable trait when it comes to evolving. I mean, you know, I'm involved, of course, in a lot of things up here with the CPDGA, the Canadian Professional Dish Hockey Association, and you know, I try to plan educational events and this type of thing. And I know when I post promo for these educational events that I'm not making any money on. In fact, they're costing me money because of all the time I spend trying to organize them. I know that most of the DJs who see that will ignore it and maybe even scoff at it. But I'm totally okay to be walking alone on that path, because I know there will be a couple of people that will hook on, and those are the people I will then walk with. So I would say, you know, those who are willing to evolve are typically okay with walking alone and maybe even being laughed at by their market for trying something different and new. Which, you know, Jared and I have had plenty of people go, MC workshop, education, blah, blah, blah. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm perfectly okay walking alone. You go off, my friend. You do your thing. I'm perfectly okay walking alone. You don't know how comfortable I am with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So, speaking of, trainings, I don't know if there's anybody in the Midwest region, or if there's anybody in your market that is looking for a bronze MC workshop. Marbecca is actually going to be in Omaha, and it's the second week, like the 14th and 15th of October.
oh yeah,
And yeah, so that's only like 2 hours south of us. I've got two of my guys going, and I'm really excited to see how they mold them and how they shape them, because again, I
Right.
mean, they're fantastic. They're young, and they are willing to evolve. They are willing to listen
Nice.
and get feedback. I have other guys in my company that aren't so willing to take that information and take that criticism and learn from it.
100%.
So it's
Speaking of education,
it's just sometimes it's personality.
yeah,
Sometimes they don't want to let that they don't want to let someone tell them that, oh, you can do better. Like, no, that was my best. They're so stuck in their head that
yeah,
that they're the best at what they do, and it's their way. But
agreed.
yeah, so yeah, Marbecca workshops are coming in Omaha. If you want to check those out, please check them out. Two of my guys will be there. They'd be happy to meet you guys, or girls.
And on the topic of education for my area here, to all of my Canuck counterparts, my Canadian counterparts, and even, hey, you're only in South Dakota, Jeremy. November, come on up, man.
Oh yeah.
Brian, my buddy Brian, he's organizing the Central Canadian Conference of Weddings, wedding conference, wedding conference in November here in Brandon, Manitoba. So all you Canadians listening, I will be speaking there. Come and see me. Come and let's spend some time together.
I will actually be in Chicago. We're building a trade show booth, and we're running the trade show booth for a company in Chicago for 10 days. So I will be stuck in Chicago in November. And yeah.
I didn't want Jeremy there anyway. I was just being nice. All the rest of you, I want you there.
You're so sweet. Speaking of speaking engagements.
Nice segue. Yes.
Definitely want to be talking about as this show is getting closer. I am so excited that John has launched this. I think it's official. Like, we can talk about this, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we're just seeing like the information on the inside of the DJ news or what. John is working with Photo Booth Expo, which Photo Booth Expo is huge. I mean, if you want to see a trade show floor, this floor has hundreds and hundreds of booths.
I've heard it's massive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. Even if you don't go for the photo booth part of it, and I think this was a good piggyback. I think this was a good mesh. DJ News or DJNTV and Disc Jockey News, they're putting together a show on February 24th through the 26th. And I think that starts on Sunday, Monday. No, I'm wrong. That's
24th to 26th, so yeah. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of February.
Thank you.
Yeah, there'll be some DJ content featuring you.
So, well, actually, here's the fun part of this. Yeah, you. I think I know Mitch is on there on Monday. I know. I can't even think. I remember looking at this lineup. I'm like, holy smokes.
Yeah, it's a lot of great people.
Talk about great stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see everybody on Monday. And the fun thing is, I kind of put this teaser out there. Everybody expects a lighting seminar out of me. Everyone's like, oh yeah, it's going to be lighting. We've seen lighting. We know lighting. This seminar is going to be completely different because this is the first seminar. This will be actually the first show that a DJ show that my wife is attending. My wife has never attended a DJ show. She's been at Wedding MBA. She has been at, I think she went to LDI with me a couple years ago because I did a speaking engagement there. But this seminar is going to be based on her and me. It's not about lighting. It's about how a couple can work together.
Oh boy.
Business and still stay married.
Wow.
Yeah. It's going to be really good.
So basically, you're going to blow the image you've created, and we're finally going to realize that the brains behind the entire operation actually has nothing to do with Jeremy.
No, you're exactly right. I'm just a better speaker than she is, so that's why I'm always on the stage. She's actually doing all the work. It's fantastic.
I just, of course, Sarah's an incredible woman, and anybody who's going to be attending Photo Booth Expo will be really overjoyed to meet her. She's really, really lovely. I can't wait to see her again, Jared. That's great news, man.
Yeah, she's super sweet. And she's a very understanding individual. And that's why this works. But it's going to be good because you're going to hear it from a wife's perspective. You're also going to hear it from a husband's perspective, but you're going to hear it from business owners' perspectives as well.
Right.
And I tell you what, our family would not be able to function if we didn't have the relationship we do, and we don't have the flexibility that we do.
Right.
And our business allows us to have that flexibility, as well as making sure that we accommodate our kids and live the life that we want for our kids and also for ourselves. So it'll be a really good
Cool.
seminar on family and business and how those two things can go together and be successful. So I'm very excited to be sharing that. This will be the first time I've ever presented a seminar like this. I've been
Cool.
thinking about this for years, and finally John's like, have you ever thought about your wife being involved in this seminar and talking about how you guys work together in the business? I'm like, well, yeah, she'll probably kill me, but we'll figure it out. So
Fun.
yeah, it's going to be exciting. It'll be good.
Fun. Shout out to just a couple more people on evolution. David Wolf said, my evolution was in enhancing my planning guide and planning sessions to focus on taking stress off of the wedding couple. We are sometimes close to the wedding planner in some cases. David, I would have to agree with you. I don't work with a lot of wedding planners up in my area, so sometimes I slip into a little bit of management, but I always cautiously tell my wedding couples I am not a wedding planner. They do way more things than, they do stuff I wouldn't touch.
Yeah, that's a great point. Before you answer this next one,
Sure.
I kind of want to touch on that a little bit, because we do work with a lot of wedding planners, and we never want to overstep our boundaries. We don't want to pretend like we're going to fluff the flowers and pin dresses or anything like that. We are there to basically work together as a group, a collaborative group. I'm not going to be contacting the florist in advance and say, hey, just want to make sure the peonies are ready to go and all this kind of stuff. I mean, there is a lot of work that we do to make sure that the day goes smooth and to kind of be the ringleader once the reception starts. But I always recommend to people, don't ever step on somebody else's toes. Don't try to be a photographer if you're not a photographer. Don't try to be a wedding planner if you're a DJ. You're not going to make somebody's wedding cake, are you? Don't try to be more than what you are.
So true.
That's a great point. Yeah, that you kind of do become a planner or an organizer, but you're not titled as a wedding planner.
There's another great component to a quality trait when it comes to evolving. Evolving, I think the most valuable trait to maybe have when it comes to evolving is not thinking that you need to add more and become more. You simply just need to become a better you.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing. Don't get me wrong. It's way easier to buy a photo booth. It's way easier to get into renting pipe and drape. Way easier.
Yeah.
Way harder to actually evolve what's between these ears, what's between these eyes. So you can take that on. And now he's laughing at me. I read a great quote from Sean Lowe, who, if you're not following Sean Lowe, The Business of Being Creative is his blog. Once again, that's thebusinessofbeingcreative.com. He had a great line the other day that said, you might get paid a little bit for what is between your hands, but mostly it is about what is between your ears. Wisdom, experience, talent, expertise. Evolve that. Don't evolve what's between your hands. Evolve what's here. That's just fizzled out. Anyway.
So one of the things I think that, and actually we talked about this right before we got onto the show here. I don't know if a lot of you guys knew this, but Dave got into a pretty horrific bike accident and
I tripped.
Broke like 3 legs, and it was not good. And actually my market, Sioux Falls, actually just got hit pretty hard we actually had 2 tornadoes touch down and hit the city pretty hard
Last night.
Last night. And we haven't had a tornado in like 31 years. So this was a big deal. I mean, it took out a lot of homes. It took out some major businesses. I mean, Best Buy, Advance Auto, they basically lost their roof, and I mean, the walls are gone. I mean, it was incredible.
Wow.
The power of the storm.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring that up, I'm not looking for sympathy, and Dave's not either regarding his leg. But the reason we want to bring this up is because, again, I think this would be a great topic on when catastrophe happens. Are you covered? Do you have a backup plan? And, you know, because if that tornado would have took out my warehouse, we have 8 weddings going on this Saturday. And if that tornado would have been 3 miles more south, it would have took out our warehouse. And if I had 8 weddings prepped, ready to go, all the music, all the lighting, everything is ready to go. If that happens 3 days before I have to go send 8 weddings out, who's going to help me out? Who's going to cover me? Who's going to be there to help me in a scenario, in a pinch? And you had, and the reason I bring this up is because you had this happen. You broke your leg on what?
A Wednesday afternoon before Saturday wedding. This past June, 3 months ago, actually, today.
You had a wedding on Saturday.
Yeah.
So in 4 days, you had to figure out how you're going to perform at your highest level with a broken leg, probably high on codeine, that you were on. But again, I think that's a great show on, you know, what is your backup plan? What is your reserve if something happens? You know, we always talk about backup equipment. Well, if my controller stops in the middle of an event, I've got a backup controller. What are you going to do if you lose an entire business? If you lose an entire, Dave, you are your business.
Yep.
So I'm really interested to have a show about how you pulled off a successful wedding in the matter of 3 days, and you know, not being at your 100%, but still having delivered at 100%.
Well, I take issue with that last comment of yours. I was at my 100%, and in fact, I was at 100% most of the time. I normally operate at 200%. So my 100%, I was operating at 100%.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Sorry, carry on. Yeah, that's are we gonna just touch on that now? That topic?
No, I don't think we are.
I've been told.
I think that will be. I think that'll be a future discussion. Like I said, we're building up our portfolio of what we're going to be going over here in the next, the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'll. When we do talk about, what are you doing, a disaster type thing. I mean, I'll share exactly what I did when I broke my leg.
Because I don't even know if you and I talked about this.
We haven't talked about it in any great detail.
I mean, not in depth conversation. I know that we've had little discussions. When that happened, I'm like, okay, do I call him right now, or it's like,
there's no big deal. There's no big deal though. So it's right. The codeine is talking, I think, says David Wolf. No, I'm not on codeine now. This is 3 months ago. Look, I am a perfectly able-bodied individual now. This is the one that was broken. See? See? Scar? You can't see Scar, but where the metal plate and the 9 screws went in.
That is actually proof that Dave is wearing pants.
Oh, dang! Rats. Anyway. So, supply us with a few more topics. What would you like to see Jared and I chat about on this little space that John has so graciously given us that we call Wedding Chat? Because those are the types of events that's what I specialize in. I think Jeremy specializes in that, and maybe some others too. You do a lot of big work, but we don't talk about that here.
No.
If you want that, you got to go catch Jeremy on this other show called... Okay, this is the only
wants
show.
To be a millionaire.
Thank God he does have pants on. Yeah, the comments are coming in now. There's always a slight delay from the live to YouTube.
Thank God.
Anyway, it's been really, really great catching up, not only with you, Jeremy, but with everybody as well. It's been tuning in and watching. I appreciate all the comments. I know there was a comment earlier on that said something about having trouble booking weddings. To be honest, that's a great, honest statement. Gibran, I believe is your name, Jimenez. Yeah, you know what? Joel booking weddings, I know all about it. That goes in big cycles for me as well. You know, I'm able to keep the lights on, but yeah.
Whoever wrote that question, I would love for them to be in the conversation when we have that show, because I'm curious on procedure. I'm curious on where they're struggling, whether it's the first contact, whether it's the conversation, whether it's the actual sale, whether it's the close. So excuse me, I'd love to have them be on that conversation, and please allow yourself to be vulnerable. And what I mean by that is don't be afraid to say, well, this is how I failed. You know, Dave and I, we talk about how we fail because it's the failure that makes us stronger. It makes us better at what we do. So
Right.
I encourage you to be on that show. I'd love to talk to you and figure out exactly how maybe we can mold that
Cool.
with your processes. So
That'd be great.
I think that would be great. Yeah.
A few other topics that have come in. Wedding setup question. Been in the biz for a year. School dances and bar gigs so far. Took on a few weddings this summer and confident to keep going down that path. Yeah, let's talk about wedding setups one day. You know what? Gear is always a popular conversation.
Yeah.
Let's absolutely do that. You're jotting all these down, Jared?
Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Gibran, you're back. Yeah, how can you get that sales pitch in? We'll have that as a full conversation one day. I love that conversation, and that's a big conversation. That's bigger than the 5 minutes we have left here.
I think we should have we should see if Mitch is available. I think we've had Mitch on the show before.
That could be fun.
I would love to have him on there.
Yeah, that could be really fun. Yeah, it's just great at sales. Mike Monteith. Mike, another fellow Canadian from Edmonton. Good to see you, sir. Preparing for your first wedding show. Step-by-step checklist. Do you guys have anything?
Yes.
Um,
Wedding show. We should probably do that one here. So we have fall wedding shows coming up here. Do you have fall wedding shows coming up?
You know what? There used to be one in this area, but let's just say it
Didn't evolve.
Oh, by the way, every time we said the word evolve or evolving, should have had a drink. To the Evolve 50s.
The Evolve 50. To the Evolve 50. I don't have that mug. I don't even know how old this water is. I'm gonna pass on that.
By the way, quick note from John. Give the video a like, folks. If you enjoy the content that Jeremy and I put out, we're sometimes pretty random, and today was obviously about collecting some ideas as well, but we like to be pretty candid. So give the video a like and check out the DJNTV, the Photo Booth News TV channel as well, and give it a subscribe if you want to support, because this stuff doesn't happen without that kind of support. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
speaking of EV, one of the topics that I want to bring up, I literally, this was actually the first one I wrote down on here. This was before we even started the conversations. I got to give a huge shout out to Electro Voice. I had a sub that went out on me, and they're like, send it in, we'll get it taken care of. They sent it back. I mean, it was back in like no time. Granted, I mean, it's just down here in Lincoln, Nebraska, so it's not that far. But their customer service has been phenomenal. And it's the follow-up to an email, it's the phone calls, it's the, checking in, hey, want to make sure you got it and make sure everything's working good. And I think customer service is more than just sales. I think it's more than just the final product. It's everything from the time. And actually, I remember listening to a presenter that talked about customer service, and she said, as soon as you step out of that car, your customer service starts, because anybody could just come up to you and have a conversation. So you have to be in that mode of being ready to serve your customer. No matter how you feel, no matter how you look, you have to be ready to provide customer service. So I think customer service is I know it's really broad, but I think that would be a great conversation. I'd love to hear from other people what they like about customer service, what they don't like about customer service. Right. I'm in a huge dispute right now with DHL because they damaged over $3,000 of equipment, and they are not willing, even though we had it insured, they're not willing to pay. They're not willing to pay the insurance fee. So
Yikes.
yeah, talk about bad customer service.
Right. Okay. So title for that show is going to be, is your customer service as glossy as your marketing materials?
Or just customer service.
Trying to get creative here. Yeah.
Whatever. I don't care. Whatever you want it to be. Whatever you want it to be. It won't fit all on the page, but
We'll figure something out.
yeah, I think we got some great topics. Please keep them coming. Even when if you see this video on social media and you're like, hey, here's a topic, add that topic to the social media page. John will be able to look at those. We'll be able to look at those and just kind of backlog and say, oh yeah, that'd be a great topic. Throw those in there. And there is no such thing. It's like there's no such thing as a dumb question. There's no such thing as a bad topic.
Right.
So feel free to put anything out there. Photo booth at weddings, DJs. How do you incorporate photo booths into the entertainment aspects? Not just sitting behind the booth or the photo booth and taking a picture. What can you do to make it more interactive as a DJ?
Sweet.
So I think there's a lot of great potential again with the photo booth show coming up February 24th through the 26th. It's going to be a great show. Dave will be there. I'll be there. And John has a announcement. John, you got an announcement that you want to?
He does. And while we wait.
Yeah, I was just typing it up, but this will be quicker than to type it all up.
Yeah, no, and we can't read all that well anyway. So
there's
we ain't that good.
The guys are back, of course, for the fall season, and they're going to be sharing on a regular time allotment here throughout the fall. Starting with the next episode where they come back, and I've got like 6 topics that I jotted down while you guys were talking. So I don't know if I have them all, but we'll figure that out later. The guys are going to have some different different drawings and such. They're going to be giving away some passes to the Disc Jockey News event in February. Some will be exhibit passes, some will be a full pass. But the big prize that they're going to be giving away early December is going to be some lucky winner out there, some lucky viewer who's watching on a regular basis is going to be winning in Evolve 50.
What?
So
hey, I watch the show every time.
Yeah, no, you don't. You can't win. Sorry.
Wait, really?
So yes, you guys are going to be giving away an Evolve 50. So at the next show, we're going to start the sign-up system. And every week that you guys are in here, you can go and you can sign up again to get another chance to win. And then we'll be doing drawings from that. And then in early December, basically right after our first show after Thanksgiving, so that early December, because we want to make sure whoever wins gets it in time, that they can put it under their Christmas tree. And you're going to print a picture of Jeremy and a picture of Dave, and the 3 of you can be under the. Yeah, it'll be beautiful.
And when John says the weekend after Thanksgiving, to my Canadian folks, he means American Thanksgiving.
American Thanksgiving, that is correct. And yes, we can. For our Canadian viewers, we can do this in Canada also because they can ship to Canada. So we are nice. Good. But the thing is, you only get about 65% of the speaker because of the exchange rate.
You get your choice. You get the column or you get the basement on the bottom.
But you can't have both.
I actually have an extra basement, so I could use the top of a column.
That's hilarious.
So Dave, can you show off our sponsor one more time? Thanks to EV providing a Evolve 50 for our show. I hope EV knows that. Do they know that?
Yeah, they've actually. Okay. We've been talking about all sorts of different things. We actually had some other things we were going to be doing, but those will be coming in 2020 when we'll be doing.
What about the RE3 microphones?
That would be very cool. Those are really quite neat. Or the my personal favorite right now is the 420, the 420 Element. Those are just incredibly. They're an incredible microphone for sound quality. They actually sound studio quality or a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
But
nice. We have really we ended up getting 3 of the new RE3s.
Nice.
I'm sorry, 3. We have 9 of the RE3s. They are phenomenal units, and they're pretty rock solid. So if you like the RE2s, oh my gosh, it blows the RE2s away.
Excellent.
Wow, cool. Yeah. 2 more show topics before the chat disappears.
Yes, go ahead. I'm typing them in.
communication after the contract is signed, but before the event. How much is enough, but not too much?
Ooh, I got some.
Thank you, David, for that topic, because that's something that I intend on doing some work on actually this fall and through the winter. So good timing.
I got some good stuff on that.
And the other topic is from Mike in Edmonton, Alberta. What does your prep for a wedding look like the week of? Another great topic.
Hey, that is so funny that comes up. Here it is. Here.
No, you get wait. No, that's that show. Don't show it
3
yet.
pages.
Gosh.
Those are great topics. Thank you, gentlemen, for those topics.
I mean,
thank you, everybody. This has been fun. It's nice to be back.
Fun.
So-
Good to
so-
be back. Thanks for having us, John.
this show is supposed to be the brainstorming of ideas, and I think the very first one, Jeremy's like, John should write this down, the evolve or die. And then, if I'm not mistaken, he then went into it.
No. There's so much more.
There
to
probably
go
is a lot more, but I ended up.
Because the
I
question
stepped
came
away
up-
for like 5 minutes, and I come back, and you were still talking about evolve or die.
Well, the question came up on YouTube or Facebook, so we're like, okay, let's tease them a little bit.
Oh,
so
okay, I get it.
there's plenty more, and yeah,
I
I'm
apologize.
excited about that one.
As the Canadian, the token Canadian here, everybody watching, I apologize for my co-host.
John, he doesn't mean it. He does not mean it.
It's not sincere.
Oh, God. Screenshotted it for the Christmas tree. I totally need an Evolve 50. Yes. Should you make packages? Another potential topic.
Yeah.
Packages.
Package things out. Do you a la carte everything? I think we got a whole season lined up now.
I know. Packages.
Jeez. We're gonna have to go every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Easy now.
No,
Easy now.
sorry. I got carried away. All right. Thanks for
Awesome.
having us, John.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thanks,
Take
guys.
care, everybody.
Everyone, have yourself a good evening. Good
See you
night.
in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think that's it. 2 weeks, we'll be back for the next one.
Awesome. Take care, everyone. Good night.